What is good, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video, and in this one I want to give you guys a very quick update on Tesla, SPY, Nvidia, the QQQ, and a couple of other tickers, and also break down something very important for the markets. But let me first mention that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Moomoo link, which is down below and in the description. If you sign up for Moomoo and deposit $100, you're guaranteed 7 free stocks, and this offer ends in just about 12 hours from now, so check it out before they run out. Anyways, now let's break down what's happening to the market. Looking at SPY, this thing is continuing to dip and we're approaching our 30 minutes 200 EMA. And if we end up losing this 529 support, we're going to likely see even more downside. We have a head and shoulders setup, and SPY is looking a bit more bearish right now as we're making a lower high relative to the all-time high. So we had this all-time high up here at 533. We came down, made a lower high at 531, and now we're continuing to fall. So if we lose that 529 support or even close below it, that's going to be a bearish signal. I'm going to be expecting at least 527.5 or even 525 if we end up losing that. So SPY is looking more bearish right now. I want to give you guys a quick warning about this. Be careful. We're approaching the support, so we'll see how it ends up reacting. And the head and shoulders setup is still more valid. It does favor downside for now. On top of this, we also have Nvidia. It's been pushing very nicely, went above 1,125. We're actually approached 1,150, and we're continuing to push. We're still holding it very, very well on Nvidia. There's no sign of it stopping quite yet. With the market dipping a bit, this could lead to Nvidia cooling off just a little bit, but that does not necessarily mean that the trend is dead. Nvidia is still very, very strong looking, in my opinion. So be very careful when it comes to the way that you play this. For people out there who want to short it, be very, very careful. For Tesla, with the head and shoulders setup on SPY, I do want to call out that on the 30 minutes time frame, we also happen to have kind of like a head and shoulders, but it's not as clean. This does suggest that Tesla could actually dip a little bit lower into the lower 170s all over again as the market is dipping. So I just wanted to call that out and give you guys a warning about that. That could lead to some downside. Tesla is still range bound. We have support between 173 and 172, and we have resistance at 180. Overall, it's still range bound, but there is a risk of Tesla potentially dipping a bit lower because of how SPY and the QQQ are moving. So we could be reapproaching 170, the 172s basically, or even the lower 170s if that breaks. So we'll watch and see how that ends up going. QQQ, this has been holding up a lot better thanks to Nvidia and the others, but just know that we're starting to show some weakness on the 30 minutes time frame. If we end up losing our 50 EMA right here, I'm going to be looking for a dip and even like a risk of us actually dropping even lower. So I'll be watching to see how we hold around 458. If we lose that, I'll be looking at 456 as our next potential target, closer to our 200 EMA. So just be very, very mindful of this and just know that there are some risks. Another risk for the QQQ dipping is Aapl. We have 190.5 as support. We're basically losing that, and our next support is 190. If we lose that, I'll be looking at potentially 188 as a target. So just be very careful, guys. The market is showing some weakness. On the IWM Russell 2000, this is also dipping a little bit. I did mention everyone's going to likely continue to fall, and that's what we're seeing so far. Excuse me. For Amazon, it is holding up for now on the 30 minutes time frame, but we know we have this resistance on 182, support at 180. We're kind of range bound right now. If the market dips more, we could see this actually get closer to the lower 180s. But so far, it's still showing some resilience and holding up decently. It's very, very range bound, so we'll have to give that some time. For Meta, the one thing worth noting about Meta is that we have a head and shoulders setup, but there's no confirmation of this breaking down yet. To be bearish, you need to see it lose 475 then 472 to start sinking. So far, there's no sign of Meta potentially doing that, and it's actually holding up quite well. So I want to see it lose 475 to turn more bearish. It's still holding up relatively well. So we'll just have to wait and see if we end up losing that or not. Otherwise, it's just very choppy right now. I haven't seen much of a change to this yet. For Google, holding up nicely. Watch 178, as our resistance right here. If it breaks that, our next target is going to be closer to 180. And our support is going to be 177 flat, followed by 175. So far, it's holding up relatively well. GameStop is pushing nicely. We got a nice little pump all the way up to about this level, but I told you I wanted to see it hold above 25 to remain bullish. We're kind of struggling to do so, so watch and see how it holds around 21.5. If that fails, there could be a shift. We could dip lower if we lose 21.5, so let's see if GameStop could hold or not. AMC is also trying to push, but it's showing some weakness as well. Might dip a bit, but the overall picture of these stocks is still more bullish. So just for the short term, yes, we could dip more, but for the more medium term, there could still be more upside potential. So I'll be watching for that. Last but not least, we have Bitcoin. Bitcoin is once again looking more bearish. I'll be watching the 66,000 area. It's still approaching the support at 67,500. If we lose that, I'll be watching 66,000, by the way. We're still holding 67,500, so watch for that. It's kind of shuffling, but it is looking more bearish as it's on a bit of a downtrend. All right, so the market is showing weakness. This is exactly what I said in my weekend video. This is exactly what we called out. So watch and see how SPY holds up. And just know that this head and shoulders is looking a lot more valid and does suggest there's more downside coming for the future. All right, that's your super quick intraday update. Thank you all so much for listening. Have a great day, guys, and I'll see you guys in just a couple of hours. Thanks again, and peace out.